wife and I for a number of years, and we used to go down to the Frick Museum sometimes and just sit and enjoy the paintings in this little room. And actually, A&E did a biography on the Fricks, and what's something I noticed on that show is that Mr. Frick, at midnight, every night that he happened to be in New York, would go in and read a particular book from midnight to 2 a.m. Well, I'm a kind of guy that loves reading, and I've attempted to collect and absorb some of the greatest minds on the planet. And when I saw this, I said, well, anybody would sit there year after year after year reading a particular book from 12 to 2, this must be a significant book. Particularly if this guy made some sort of impact on the world like he did. So the next morning, I contacted the bookstores and I said, I'd like to get the Book of Wealth. That was the title of the book, The Book of Wealth. So I said, I'd like to do it. And they said, well, it's not available, sorry. I said, but they gave me a card on a rare bookstore that maybe they can locate it. So I contacted the rare bookstore and they said, no, we can't get it. We know of the book, but it's not available. And I said, well, if it ever becomes available, can I get the first choice at it? And they said, well, yes, we can put you on the list, and we'll put a worldwide search out, and if it comes available, we'll do it. It just so happened, because of pure intention of getting this, that a couple days later, I get a call from them and said, you're not going to believe this, but it's on auction. So they're having an estate auction, and this book happens to be up for auction. So I said, well, bid, get it, whatever it takes, get it. I thought it was just going to be a book, some great book you read. About a day later, 2 days later, I get this giant crate, about this long and about that wide and about this tall, maybe about that tall, delivered to my place in Manhattan up on the 62nd floor. And I go, what's this? And they said, well, this is the Book of Wealth. And I go, damn. No wonder he was sitting there for all those years reading it. And I opened it up, and it was 10 volumes, about an inch and a quarter, inch and a half, something like that, 10 of them. And they're about this tall and about this wide. And with it came a history of that book that Sotheby's had done on the auction. And what happened is this book was produced in 1895 by Hubert Bancroft. Bancroft is the Bancroft Prize. You may have heard of this, and like the Pulitzer Prize, the Bancroft Foundation, etc. He produced this book. He produced 400 copies, 400 sets, and distributed it to the wealthiest people on the planet in the Western world. So the Morgans had it, the Rothschilds had it, you know, the Kennedys had it, the New York Public Library had part set, 2 of the volumes had been taken, and I had this access to this wonderful book. And as I sat there and read it, I opened up the first book, and it goes back, and what it is the history of economics and finances relative to the history of the human race. So it goes back to the Sumerians, and it goes back to the Egyptians, and the Babylonians, and the Semites, and it goes through all the different cultures as far as recorded history has been able to demonstrate, and who was the wealthiest individuals, institutions, organizations, religious foundations, or people, etc., that had built wealth, and what did they do, how did they do it, what was the mindset, what was the cause, what was the motivations, etc. And it's a deep exploration of the psychology of economic exchange. By the time you go through these texts, you realize it's not what most people think.